future plans that we're doing here on the homestead, and hopefully you'll find it encouraging for yourself, because one of the pieces that we're finding out is obviously our kids are growing up. And as our kids are growing up, you know, Lord willing, they'll find this area desirable and they'll want to stay around close to where we're at. Because I'll be honest, if we're doing all this stuff just for ourselves, as far as all this homesteading, I don't really think it's worth it. But if we're doing it for the future generations, then I see a big benefit in it. Come here, buddy. Come here. So what we're doing today is we're actually laying out an area that we're going to go ahead and put some extra berry bushes in, some additional grapes, and then also 27 additional fruit trees, and some figs, and then some additional elderberries. So I'll walk up here and I'll show you. So we've got two different sections that we're planning on doing. So we've set ourselves up. Luke and I really enjoy drawing these and seeing where it's at. So we're going to go ahead with two different rows of muscadines. Then we're going to try to find Mars variety grapes. They're a seedless Concord, so we're excited about that. Joy, I believe that is another seedless variety, and then Hope's another seedless variety. I forget which one's a red, and then one's a white. And then there's a Neptune, I believe that's another purple grape. And then we're going to go with another row of raspberries, because so far those golden raspberries, we've just been really excited about them. So this is one of the things Luke and I like to do. So I drew this one, and then Luke here, working together as a team, he drew this one. So he's the one that set up all of the fruit trees. So we've got a variety of different fruit trees. So we're going to put in some pears and apple trees, some nectarines, and then also a few English walnuts and a couple other things that will actually hopefully be desirable for our area. So we've been doing a lot of research on those, and once we get those final varieties of what they are, once we purchase them, we'll do that. But what we're hoping to do is really take time over the next 2 years to build this all up. Because like I said, you know, if we had a bunch of money and an endless supply, you know, as far as that goes of money, we could do it real quick. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to take the grapes, we're just going to buy a couple plants of each variety, and then after 2 years, hopefully we'll get enough woody stem parts, and then we're going to start propagating our own grapes, and then we'll finish off. So it'll take us a couple years to get to where we're at, but right now what we're doing, we're actually laying it all out. So we've got the stakes in here. So the big stakes, we're going to go ahead and set up. So like that right there, if you can see where I'm pointing over here, is going to be a tree. The far stake way over there by the sheep, that's going to actually be another row of blackberries. And then if you come this way, right here in the center, we're going to have another nice tree. And then over here we'll have another tree, and then on the other side we're going to have another row of blackberries. And when it's all said and done, you can probably see the stakes down there on the far end through the sheep. You know, we've got the end post on the left, which is where the blackberries will go. And what we're going to do for that is we're just going to run like a field fence for that, like a square 4x4 field fence. And then then to the left or to the right of that, you know, another tree, and another tree. Then on the far right, we'll actually have another, where our other post is going to be for the blackberries. And what you know, it's nice that we drew this all up, but when it was all said and done, when we actually came out here to lay it all out, there was a couple measurements we had to change, because otherwise it just wasn't going to work right. It wasn't going to allow us to get our mower in here, it wasn't going to allow us to get our small tractor in, and it wasn't going to give enough space for the figs and or the elderberries that we want to plant. So the combination of drawing it up, which I highly recommend for any plans you're doing, because not only drawing them up kind of gives you an idea of where to go from, but then you keep this in your file and you actually know what you planted. Because all we're going to do is we're going to keep this, make a few corrections to it, and then we'll keep this in our file kind of as an aerial view and show us over the years what's doing really well and what's not. So if we have an opportunity to put something else in the ground, we just go look. Because I can tell you right now, we've got peach and we've got apple trees, but I can't tell you exact variety of all of them without going back and looking at our little aerial map. So hopefully, once again, talking a little bit about the future, But the future's so exciting. Once we get some rain, we're going to start turning this into a project. As we get further along, we'll take some video footage and show you what that is. Hopefully, again, like I said, take the time to do this. I think it'll be well worth doing it, because the best tree in the ground, isn't one that you put in the ground 2 months from now, 3 months from now. It's the one that you actually take the time and dig and put in now. So that way it's got the opportunity to grow. If not, you'll never get any fruit off it. Thanks again for watching. Shalom. Okay, so a minute ago we were in where we were going to put the trees and the figs, and now this area here is where we're going to put the grapes and the raspberries. So right now we'll end up with 9 rows of grapes and then 1 if not 2 rows of raspberries. It just depends on how far we want to space out the raspberries, or we may end up setting a fence or something between them, because right now from what we're seeing, boy, they just have runners and they run out everywhere, so they're going to be kind of hard to contain, unlike the blackberries. So this is the area. When it's all said and done, our total dimensions of both areas are 60 by 150, and on the other area it's actually 75 by 200. So I didn't do the calculations as far as where it's at, but I mean I'm sure we're close, if not just past an acre. So we're probably getting ready to set aside close to an acre's worth of property, and then from there we're going to go ahead and take that and actually apply it to long-term vision for our orchard, and then also for a small vineyard. Because like I said in several other videos, our family's driven by fruit, and if we can get the opportunity to grow and raise our own stuff, and then for me have the opportunity to potentially take my grandchildren out here someday to do that, I'm just completely excited. That just for me is what we want for our family, just to have that hopefully vision for our homestead that includes many generations. Thanks again. Shalom.